Hello, our group case study is going to focus on opportunities for improvement for Tata Steel associated with the Tata Group. The Tata Group is an Indian conglomerate that is centered in Mumbai, India. The company was established in 1868, which consists of several subsidiaries across many different market segments, such as the automotive industry, hospitality, steel industry, beverages, and telecommunications. Tata Steel has over 30 companies across 10 business verticals, employs over 700,000 individuals with a reported $113 billion in profits during 2019. The Tata Group claims that they are the only value-based corporation within India that focuses directly on integrity, responsibility, excellence, pioneering, and unity. Each of their subsidiaries operates independently, but still follows the guidance of Tata Group, their board of directors, and shareholders. For this case study, our group is going to focus directly on Tata subsidiary Tata Steel. We chose to focus on Tata Steel because they are the major shareholder with 75% shares within Tata. Tata Steel was founded in 1907 and has since established itself as a leading steel producer throughout the world with manufacturing operations in over 26 countries. Since 2004, Tata Steel has grown significantly through acquisitions of other steel companies. Tata Steel also operates within many different segments such as agriculture, automotive, construction, consumer goods, energy, engineering, and raw material handling. They are the 11th largest steel producer in the world with over 65,000 employees worldwide. As a group, we have identified the following opportunities for improvement for Tata Steel: vertical integration, standardization of equipment across all sites worldwide, and corporate social responsibility.
First up is going to be Albert with vertical integration. Albert, are you there?
Oh, sorry about that. I was on mute. Thanks, guys. All right, so Tata Steel has actually implemented many initiatives in recent years to vertically integrate both forwards and backwards. Some reasons for vertical integration would include economies of scale, improving quality control, and lowering costs. So some of the ways that they've integrated forward is by utilizing their finished product into Tata Motors, construction, and locomotive. And they've gone backwards by acquiring raw material sourcing through mining, and even going further by manufacturing mining vehicles that was brought through its other subsidiary, Tata Motors. So the problem with this is, while normally it's good to integrate into businesses that strengthen the value of the supply chain, Tata Steel has become over-leveraged with these failing businesses at $1.19 trillion of debt. So many of these businesses were actually bought right out of bankruptcy, and some of their European manufacturing plants in particular are losing approximately $1 million a day, through shutdowns and lower production. Now, buying these companies that are broken can be beneficial, but revenue is going to take a hit because they require an additional amount of resources invested to fully integrate them and contribute back to the company before they become profitable. So although the asset value is high, the fact remains that these businesses need work. This goes to show that vertical integration like this can cause obstacles for a company if they're not prepared. Now, what we suggest is that the Tata Steel board approach Tata Group and see if they're willing to sell other unprofitable subsidiaries such as Tata Communications or Tata Consumer Products in order to pay off some of these large debts and strengthen the vertical integration of this flagship business that creates the most profits. So what we'd like to do is create extra cash on hand to pay some of these debts, but also to reinvest into manufacturing infrastructure and much needed plant maintenance. And in addition, they would need to do some standardizing of these businesses to match what they're doing with their original Tata Steel manufacturing plants in India, And Kyle's actually going to be touching on that next.
Excellent transition. Next is going to be Kyle with standardized equipment.
So as Albert alluded to in his previous slides, Tata Steel's main method of expansion is through acquisitions. However, upon obtaining these new acquisitions, the manufacturing equipment used at these locations is not updated to meet a set Tata Steel standard. This means that there is a different set of equipment being used at every Tata Steel location in the world. The results of this range from inconsistencies in product quality and the speed at which that product can be delivered, to workplace inefficiency and overspending on various pieces of equipment, which means that this is both a key issue and an opportunity that Tata Steel can capitalize on. The importance of standardization can quickly be seen through what it will bring to the company. Upon implementing equipment standardization, there are multiple benefits that can be expected. These include decreased training costs, improved workplace safety, and less revenue loss due to manufacturing downtime. Your workplace personnel will also become interchangeable, meaning that an employee at Tata Steel Thailand would be able to work on the same machine that is used at Tata Steel Netherlands, which will allow for advancements made at one location to quickly become advancements for all locations, which will of course improve workplace efficiency and productivity. Standardization will also work to end the unintended consequences of non-standardization, such as revenue loss through manufacturing downtime, constant and expensive repair costs, as well as environmental penalties from both foreign and local organizations. Tata Steel has acquired 5 subsidiaries over the past 16 years, with minimal equipment standardization being seen throughout all acquisitions. In order to solve the issues associated with non-standardization, we suggest that Tata Steel partners with a series of local equipment manufacturers who can produce the same parts for all Tata Steel subsidiaries throughout the world. This will allow for all equipment to be the same at every Tata Steel location in the world, product quality to be consistent, and a reduction in manufacturing downtime due to equipment manufacturers being local to the Tata Steel factories. You will also be able to eliminate multiple risks to employee safety, make your personnel interchangeable throughout factories, and maximize profits to their full potential, all while setting the standard of what equipment Tata Steel is going to use in their factories.
Thanks very much, Kyle. Last is going to be Ruben with corporate social responsibility.
Although Tata Steel has been around for years and has access to a conglomerate's resources, it can do a lot more to improve its public image. As you know, steel manufacturing naturally does not have a positive image, as its manufacturing has negative consequences on the environment. Now more than ever, people are concerned with the environment and the impacts of what we are doing today negatively impacting the future. The steel industry contributes to world pollution. In fact, according to Down to Earth organization, this industry ranks 32% on environmental performance, with Tata Steel at a measly 19%. The steel industry releases large amounts of pollutants into the air during manufacturing process. With a natural negative image, improvements on ethics and compliance internally can improve a positive company image. So why is social responsibility important to a positive company image? Although steel is required in everyday life, people tie a company to its efforts on the improving society and, the very least, not harming it, both from an environmental and humanity aspect. As all companies are part of a shared environment, Tata Steel has a responsibility to be stewards. Social responsibility increases our chances for a sustainable future. A better business today means more business for tomorrow. Tata has a duty to utilize its corporate resources to improve society, included philanthropy to better the communities in which they produce and serve. Through this duty, the following can be obtained: positive image, organizational growth, innovation leading to cost savings, better brand, increased sales, and more. Part of our analysis took a deep dive into the corporate social responsibility, CSR. For today, let's focus on the environmental and sustainability efforts of Tata Steel. As you are very familiar, Tata Steel has social responsibility as not only part of their vision to aspire to be the global steel industry benchmark for value creation and corporate citizenship, but also part of their values as shown on the slide. Tata Steel does have a 4-pronged approach utilizing governance, addressing material issues, measuring sustainability, performance, and produces sustainability disclosures. However, through our analysis, this is not enough. Sure, Tata Steel commits 2% of its average net profits towards CSR for a 3-year time frame. However, given the societal and environmental impacts of Tata Steel, we believe they can do more. Derived from this board, a sustainability committee oversees its CSR program. However, they did not catch or raise attention to some of these sustainability efforts that could be perceived by the public as smoke and mirrors. For instance, Tata Steel received the Green Pro certification for identifying environmental impacts of its products. The areas of achievement were in Tata Doors, Tata Structura, and Tata Pipes. It should be noted that none of these are from the core business of steel manufacturing. Although the efforts are positive, they aren't enough in the areas where they need to be to create a strong positive image. Other smaller companies contribute more on average. Let's talk about what other steel manufacturers are doing to become environmental stewards. We will look at 2 different companies that have a variety of CSR initiatives. But for the purpose of this conversation, we'll continue to focus on the environment. First, US Steel contributes 11% of its budget on environmental efforts alone, with the goal to reduce 20% emissions by 2030, reduce greenhouse gas emissions by being a carbon-free steel producer, just to name a few. The second company, ArcelorMittal, is currently the #1 steel provider in the industry. They have committed to a sustainable business and created a campaign called Responsible Steel. They too have a target to reduce emissions by even greater, with 30% by 2030 to meet European Commission's Green Deal, and an overall personal goal to eliminate their carbon footprint by 2050. How are they doing this? Transforming waste wood into coal substitute, capturing waste gases and converting them into biofuel. It has a dedicated research and development facility tackling environmental solutions in addition to general R&D. Currently, they're exploring using hydrogen to replace natural gas as a resource. Tata Steel has the foundation. With its current 4-pronged approach to CSR, to be able to accomplish more for society, especially the environment, to accomplish more, the board could consider using a third-party company to help direct and monitor their CSR measures and benchmark amongst the industry leaders, in addition to the sustainability board. We believe Tata Steel can improve and become a future environmental ambassador with additional governance and more research and development, which ultimately could benefit the company's image, increase cost savings, and reduce environmental impacts. It becomes a win-win to be better at CSR and improve the company's image.
Thanks, Kyle, and everyone. There's a lot of great information there. Just to summarize for anyone who's just joining the presentation now, these were the 3 main opportunities our team recommends Tata Steel implement and expand into. First, there was vertical integration that Albert discussed. Tata Steel is in a very unique situation due to its opportunities to provide products to the different subsidiaries all within Tata Group. They really have a lot of expansion possibilities right on their doorstep. However, there are some poor performers within Tata Group that are taking resources away that could be focused on Tata Steel, the most profitable branch. From Tata Steel's perspective, they need to convince the board that in some cases, less is more. Next was standardized equipment, which Kyle explained. As we know, Tata Steel has made a lot of acquisitions over the past few decades. New arrivals bring lots of interesting things, like incredible new personnel and even new technologies. However, they also bring different systems of operation, and in the steel industry, different pieces of equipment. Bringing all these acquisitions to the same equipment will have many short and long-term benefits, like interchangeable personnel, safety improvements, lower training costs, and more. Last was corporate social responsibility by Ruben. Tata Steel needs an image rebranding. The steel manufacturing business is not a pollutant-free industry, but Tata Steel needs to embrace the principles of Tata Group and become an industry leader and pioneer for environmental protection and sustainability. Tata Steel, with all of its resources and ingenuity, cannot allow smaller companies to outpace them on this front. Competitors are capturing waste gases and converting them into biofuels. With enough attention and resources, Tata Steel could easily become a leader in CSR achievements, which would help them their rebranding and present tremendous economic opportunity as Tata Steel expands into nations heavily focused on environment and sustainability. We hope you've all enjoyed the presentation. Thank you again to our speakers, and stay safe.